Okay, for your assignment today, you guys are completing the sheet. So you can cut out the big rectangle and glue it into your notebook. It should fit. It might overlap a little bit with the the holes, but that's okay as long as it fits on the sheet. So glue it down. And this one I was able to line up with the red line, but you might not be able to. But glue that down in your notebook. If for some reason your notebook it doesn't fit, don't glue it down yet. Just work on the sheet, and then once we go over it and you can glue it in to keep it in your notebook, just fold the paper in half and glue one half of it so that when you open it, you can see it. Okay? But this one fit on my notebook. So I'm going to go over the first one with you so that you completely understand what you're doing, and then you're going to complete the next three on your own, and then we'll review it tomorrow. All right, so the first part gives you the base 10 numeral. Another way, this is standard form. Standard form. So you can write that up here so you remember what it is. Then you have expanded form, which you should know what that is. Number name is another way of saying word form. Okay, so that's what that means. All right, so I'm going to use, I gotta make sure it's a color you guys can actually see. All right, so expanded form for this number here, and that is a decimal, and this one's a comma. So decimal, comma, decimal, 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 comma. Okay, so we're starting left to right. You start with the largest place value. So the 4 is in what place? Another way you guys could do this, because I told you in one of the other videos that you guys could always go back to your place value chart. So if you just make a small one above here, you can label it. So this is your hundreds, tens, ones. And then for writing the decimal, I always just put that there so I remember it's a decimal. So all the whole number letters up here, I make capital letters. And then when it comes to the decimals, I make them all lowercase. So you can do that too. That might help you. And then it will also help you memorize the places too. All right, so for expanded form, start with the largest one. My 4 is in my hundreds, so that's worth 400. My 6 is in my tens, so that's worth 60. So if I had 6 tens, like 6 $10 bills, or $6, dollar bills. So, or 6 $10 bills, you would have $60. All right, 400 plus 60, then I have my 5, so that's just worth 5 ones plus. Okay, now I'm out of room, and that's okay, I can make another line. So 400 plus 60 plus 5. Now I have my decimal. So 3 tenths. So 3 tenths plus 4, and it's in my hundreds, so I need to put a placeholder here to push my 4 over to the hundreds, 4 hundredths. All right, another way that I could write that is with the fractions. So I write my whole number the same, 400 plus 60 plus 5 plus 3 tenths, 3 tenths plus 4 hundredths. Make sure your notebook is as nice and neat as you possibly can write, because you need to be able to read your own writing to know what you're doing. I put "or" there. Make sure you're writing both of these first off, and make sure it's nice and neat that you can read your own writing. Give yourself some space, because if you're cramming all of your letters together, letters or numbers together, it's not going to make any sense when you look back at it again, or when you're correcting your work. Or if I have you take a picture of it and upload it, which we're going to try that next week, I won't be able to read it because it's so crammed together and super tiny. Remember, you shouldn't need a magnifying glass to read your work either. So everybody has their own style of being neat. Some of you have a little bit sloppier handwriting, some of you have a little bit neater handwriting, and everybody's different. But try to do the best that you possibly can do. Okay? That's all I can ask you guys to do. So then the next one is word form. I'm going to try this color and see if you guys can see it. So you're going to write it the way that you read it. So 465 and 34, and you with a decimal, you always read the last place value. So you don't say 465 and 3/10 and 4/100. You just read the last place value. So 400 65. Okay, now we're to the decimal. You say and for the decimal. And 34, and you read it just like a whole number, 34/100. 34/100. And it's 100 with a THS on it. All right, so you're going to do the same exact thing. I hope you filled this in as you're watching. The same exact thing for the next 3. All right, and then we'll go over them tomorrow.